Hi, and welcome to this data burst where we are all staying away from a certain person.
Yes.
Guess who
Which
has...
one of us is ill?
Yeah, guess who has COVID?
Look, I know I play Nomads, but I have not yet managed to pass it through the software to you guys.
Yeah.
I'm working on it, but not yet. And I blame my friends who have small germ factories in their houses, aka children.
Well, we're not taking any risks. We're wearing masks. Yeah, computer viruses are a thing.
Sarcastic pair.
Yeah, yes we are. Yes we are sarcastic.
He sent me a secret message to say, make sure you wear a mask.
Yeah, I'm sure he did.
Okay, so on this video we have got a few things to go through. We've got the models and concept art and renders from the, we'll say, overflow of Adepticon that came out after we did our video earlier. So there's a load more models we're going to have a quick look at. We might have a bit of a discussion about Warcrow because that's very current at the moment. But first, it's our birthday, or it was our birthday on the 18th. We are 2 years we've been doing this.
Yay. Happy birthday to us.
It doesn't feel like 2 years. It still feels like we're just, messing about, idiotically filming our games and people are watching it.
Yeah, it is a bit weird. It's like every 2 weeks we put a battle report on and we just have a game and we film it and we have a laugh and yeah.
And people watch it for some reason. I don't understand.
Yeah, so we've been doing it 2 years. We did it throughout proper COVID lockdowns. We did it with remote access. We did it outside in the freezing cold. Remember that one?
I remember the outside one.
I remember doing it outside. I remember doing it outside in the sun here with the table lined up to run back into the house because we thought it was going to rain.
Yeah, it was.
But do you remember the iPhone packed up because it was too hot as well?
Yeah, the iPhone overheated.
Yeah, that was my garden, wasn't it? We got too hot. We were getting too hot. Ah, yes, and getting my lad Lewis. He was your.
Oh yeah, the remote. Yeah, that was very funny.
Left. No, your other left.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we've been bringing you battle reports for quite a while, so we have got quite a big back catalogue if you want to go back through them. Yeah, some good memories, and do you know what? It's nice to go through them every now and again just to remember some certain things. So yeah, it's really nice. I mean, it's hard to believe it's 2 years. It really is.
But I think now that we are mostly out of COVID, he says.
Well,
with COVID.
some of us are. Two-thirds of us.
Yeah. Sorry, Kenny, we've had to cancel your game, by the way.
It's my fault. It's entirely my fault, or rather it's my friend's fault with germ factories. Anyway, now that we are largely out of COVID, we thought it'd be a nice idea to start inviting more of the people who watch our videos who fancy it to come up and give us a game. So we can lose to other people rather than each other.
So if you've got a fully painted army and you're around North Derbyshire, drop us a line, either on here or through Facebook or through Instagram, that kind of thing, and we can arrange something. Because what we want to do is we want more opponents, we want different styles, we want different armies, all that kind of stuff. Make it a little bit more interesting for you guys when you're watching the videos.
Yeah, we want to play people from different areas who have different metas, much as that word is annoying to me. But everyone plays this game differently. There are things in different areas that are prevalent and not played 50 miles away.
Okay, so let's get straight into the images, the concepts and the renders and that from Adepticon. I'm not a fan.
No. You weren't a fan of the original model though, were you? That came in the 012 pack. I like the model. I think the design aesthetic is in keeping with the other one. I think he is loaded for bear. There's a serious amount of hardware he is carrying with him.
I quite like the model. My problem with the blue coats is the hat. Yes, the policeman, etc., etc., but just the hat is the something, I don't know, it just ruins it. I'd much prefer some kind of, anything else on those.
So you'd chop the top off and just give him a domed helmet?
I would just give him a domed helmet. That would be fine. The pose of the model, I really, really like.
Yeah,
I think it's great.
The pose is nice, but we've got that technical gubbins, haven't we, at the bottom?
It's fine. He's just standing on his handbag, isn't he? Just waiting for someone to come along.
Are they the tactical riot stoppers?
So the one he's armed with ADHLs, so yeah, lots of adhesive to slow you down. It is a +1 burst adhesive launcher on that, as well as a heavy riot stopper.
Well, he's got two.
Yeah, so that's why the +1 bars. But I like the model, I like the profile.
I'm just not a fan. I think it's the mask and the hat, and it's very...
Yeah. They are a very good profile, though, like you say, Storm. It's, I've faced them, and they're really quite nasty to get rid of. So, yeah, especially now, like you say, armed for bears, that could pose a problem.
Yeah, because the physique at -6 for a bear is still 10s. It makes 50-50s.
Yeah.
Oh no, is he totally immune? He's totally
It is totally immune.
He won't stop.
Yeah, maybe they don't even care.
The next, with the next one, we go on to the military orders curators, if I can say it right.
Yeah.
We did see the artwork for this one before, which looks quite cute. We've got the concept design with which looks quite nice. But we actually look at the render. Somebody's really annoyed her. Somebody's broken something. And I love
she's
that.
Not as happy. She's not as happy. She's a very annoyed engineer.
Yeah, somebody has broke something.
And she's got to fix it again.
And I love that. I think that's brilliant. I really hope that the miniature looks like that. And if that's the case, I've got military orders in a box somewhere in my pile of opportunity. But yeah, I love this model. She's so annoyed that I've broken something. I love it.
I like it as well. I think it's a really nice pose. It's not super combaty, but it doesn't need to be. It's an engineer. I think it's a lovely little model.
It would make a nice HVT as well, wouldn't it?
It would make a lovely HVT.
No, I don't think I'd be doing the robes red. I'm not a fan of that. That's engineers with red robes. It's a bit
a bit something else.
Yeah. But yeah, I love that render. That's really nice. I really hope it comes out like that. It looks nice.
Maybe the robes are red because they're a division of the Hospitallers. Because the symbol looks vaguely hospitallary as well, and they've got red robes. That's just...
Yeah, no, that's a good observation. That's you being clever, you see, and just not realising that's the thing.
She's not very clever, though. She's only got whip 12.
Of course she's not very clever, she's Panda.
Isn't it? Good lord.
Yeah, you don't need willpower when you've got everything provided for you.
Yeah.
Okay, the next one, the Kahu.
I wondered how many different pronunciations you were going to go for there. I was just going to let you carry on until you got bored.
Yeah, I imagine you would have let me to carry it on a long time.
So I think this looks a bit like the Nocken, but with bigger clothes on.
With a bigger jacket.
He's got a bigger jacket on.
Yeah, his mum thought he was going to be a bit more code.
It is very similar to the Nocken, I think. The helmet, the face mask on his helm is different, but other than that, they look quite similar to me.
Yeah, but I don't mind this at all. To be honest, I quite like the look of this.
We don't have a render for these though yet, do we? We've just got the concept art.
We've just got the concept art, and we've got the old stat line.
I did think that the image that they got there for the Feuerback wasn't quite what I was expecting. I don't know why. Just that looks like a sniper rifle to me, not a Feuerback. Yeah.
I think there's like an orc with something similar to that, though, isn't there?
Is there?
Yeah. I think there's.
I'll take your word for it. I'm not that familiar with all the orc models.
Yeah, the Fjordback's got a +1 burst. Perhaps it's an Uber one.
Because I seem to recall at some point in the past, Ogre, you said that you thought the Kahu was a better profile than
the Varg.
That's it. The Varg.
Absolutely. I would have. I was always surprised they didn't do the Kahu first, to be honest, because I think the Varg aren't.
They all have NCO, which is going to make them very popular with you, I'm sure, Claw. You like your NCOs.
I do. It's that a little bit of a bonus that you can use up and hide your leader, Fusilier in a room at the back.
Get the value out of your lieutenant's order with that.
It was the classic thing to put in a link team, though, wasn't it, as well, for Winter 4, which I'm not sure it is anymore.
What's next?
Oh, here we go.
The next is the Marut.
Oh.
Shall we just both go on mute while you gush for a second, Claw?
Yeah.
I love the old model. I think the old model is such a nice sculpture. Even though mine's exploded about 3 times because I kind of nudged it Yeah.
Nudged it.
tiny thing, little kind of contact points. But it was such a nice model. But this one, the render on this one, the art looks great. I love the art. But the render on it is just, look at that.
Yeah.
It's got the 6 arms. It's got a really chunky, nice sword. A bit of random tactical rock. Yeah, but it just, it hasn't got the silly ears. I quite like it's got rid of the ears. But yeah.
It's good, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, I like it. I think it's a lovely model. I will definitely be adding it to my LF lists.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I don't have a left, and even I'm slightly interested. So.
Yeah, and the stats are just really good for that tag. It's designed to take out that avatar. Really
Yeah.
is. Which
Has it got cheaper?
Yeah, which is what the law was, wasn't it?
That is why it was developed. It was developed to deal with the avatar.
Yeah. Multispectral visor level 2. It's got the lieutenant strategos level 2, which is nice. As long as you've got your chain of command somewhere at the back.
Anyway,
Dark
moving
one.
on, because we're running out of time.
Oh, right.
The Nocken, which you were talking about.
Oh, right, okay.
So we've got the Nocken, who's got a model out. The female Nocken on this one.
Yeah.
Without the big furry hood that the other fella's got.
Well, she might have the big furry hood, but you can't see it under that really long ponytail.
Well, exactly.
Braid,
It took
or
me.
whatever it is.
It took me a while to realise that wasn't.
Well, it wasn't the hood.
It wasn't the hood. I didn't. I thought, oh, that's a strange hood, but it goes quite a long way. And then, yeah, it took me. I was like, oh, why has it got? Ah, the realisation hit me. I quite like it. What do you guys think?
It's a strange pose on the render. It's a strange pose. It's looking like it's heavy on one side, but yeah, why not?
I think the painted version looks a lot better, where they've kind of covered up the tactical handbag.
Yeah,
I think it looks a lot better.
It'll depend on what you stand it behind. If you stand it on its own, it looks a bit odd. If it was still sort of leaning up against a wall, as if it was about to go round a corner, it would look. Nah.
Was that chef?
I get what they were going for, but yeah, I think when you stand it on its own, it does look a little odd. But I could see it sort of stacked up on a wall, waiting to go round a corner. I think that profile for the Nocken is great as well. The Spitfire on with forward deployment and -6 mimetism. That's a cracking midfield gunfighter.
yeah. There's normally somewhere you can put it on the battlefield where you've got that 2-foot bubble of death.
Which then can be, and because it doesn't have any camouflage, if you're going second, it's a great piece to put in suppression fire.
This is another one. I don't do these guys either, but this is very nice.
I don't like it.
What? Is this your grumpiness coming out again?
No, I like almost everything about it. I don't like the sword. I think for what she is, the sword is just too big. She's a super ninja. She doesn't need a giant two-handed sword. That's not stealthy.
Yeah, but it looks cool though, doesn't it? It just looks cool.
To me, it doesn't look like a monofilament weapon. It's just too big.
I still think it'll chop you in half.
It'll chop you in half, certainly, but to me, a monofilament weapon chops you in half because of its technology, not because, it's 5 foot long and
Well,
swung
just in
with the
case the
same force
technology
as the
fails.
Claymore. I love the pose, I love the hat, I don't like the sword. I'm sorry, and I appreciate I might be in the minority, but I don't like the sword.
I'm not a fan of the hat, I'm afraid. But then I'm not a fan of that kind of techno Chinese Oriental peaked hat on the other stuff either. So that's probably just me. I quite like the pose. She does look very dynamic on that. And the sword, it's just a big sword. I'm not offended by it. But yeah, the feet are nice. I like the Japanese toe separation on there. That's a nice kind of like Oriental nod to it. I quite like it. I wouldn't go out and buy it because I ain't got the army, but...
See, this is one I quite fancy painting as just a piece to have.
What's your thoughts on the stats?
Oh, stats-wise, she's a
good.
close combat pain in the backside.
Hidden deployment, -6 mimetism.
Infiltration with the bonus, so she can be just outside your deployment zone on, what, 16 or less. Yeah.
Uh-oh.
She is an absolute pain to deal with. Stats-wise, she's great.
Does she have smoke as well, or have I just made that up?
She does have smoke grenades,
So
yeah.
that's another great thing for JSA. Another
Yeah.
smoke grenade.
Ninjas should have smoke grenades, that's how they leave a room. So let's move on to the Tiangao, the Orbital Activity Squad. I kind of like this one.
Why does she have a jump pack when she hasn't got a combat jump?
She's got 0G, I think, hasn't she? Because there's some of the nomads have got weird, great big things, haven't they? Because they've got 0G. It is a bit buoyed though. It does look as though she's a jump factory.
It just sort of looks odd that she would leave that on when she wasn't in a 0G environment. I like the sculpt, but the first thing I thought was, oh, have they gained combat jump or parachutist? Because it looks to me like they should have.
This one's a bit to me. It's not my favourite, but I don't do Yu Jing. Maybe if I did Yu Jing, I would be more excited. But it's not just not my thing. I'm afraid.
I quite like it. Quite like the pose. She's doing some kind of killer hacking thing, I think, and she's probably floating about outside a spaceship. So,
excellent. Multitasking.
I expect to see yours based in such a way then, sir.
really
I think
standing.
having a hollow masked hacker is potentially quite useful. You can get it near to somebody without them necessarily realising that it's a hacking threat until it's too late.
Because can you hollow mask as other things, can't you? I guess.
She could, well, they could hollow mask as anything that's a silhouette too.
Yeah.
Bugsy McNeil.
Who I think is getting very close to having as many sculpts as Joan at this point.
So, what's your thoughts on this particular one with the big sword knife thing and boarding shotgun?
I preferred the sculpt they did a few months ago. I prefer the sculpt that they did in Defiance.
Yeah, the one with the two pistols, in the little hood, is
It was
amazing.
much nicer than this one.
Yeah.
I understand that they've got different profiles. They wanted to show the different loadouts. But
It'll be an extra SAS, is what it's going to be.
probably. I don't dislike the pose, but we're trying to compare it to the others that are already available. Either the one with the hood and the two pistols, the one that came in Defiance. They're both nicer. I think it's the same problem with the Caden and Billy Jazz miniatures that they did. They did so many sculpts that they almost started running out of ideas. So the look at my knives Caden is not as good as the other two.
Do you know my thoughts on this, Brenda? Is I can remember the original Angelina Jolie Tomb Raider, and she was in the armed forces at some point in the story. That's her. That's Angelina
Okay.
Jolie when she was in army.
Okay, you have a better memory of that than I do.
Is there any comments about her stats?
Her stats haven't really changed at all
And
since
she's
time
brilliant.
immemorial,
You might
and
as
she's
well
awesome.
Yeah, you get a lot for the points, don't you? In that.
Given how close in point she is to a normal SAS, yes. She's the same cost or 1 point more than the boarding shotgun specialist SAS, and you get a lot more on that profile.
Okay, so moving on to Wolfgang Amadeus Wolf. I've got the original sculpt from the Code 1 starter set, and this one's the new sculpt for everybody who didn't get that starter set, so I like it. I think it's because he's got one hand, and I've got an affinity for him. I have Bionics too, look.
I much prefer the other one, to be honest. I much prefer the one that came in the box.
I do too, because I'm not a fan when they put corpses on the bases. I know people frequently talk about the tactical rock. That doesn't bother me as much because that's easy to sort of. This one has a corpse of something on its base with its hand around around his calf. You can't get rid of that very easily without, an awful lot of trimming, filing, sculpting, if you don't want it there. Same with that.
In his other hand as well.
His lunch, I think. I'm not quite sure.
Oh.
When I first saw it, I thought it was a sandwich, but then it's some sort of technical gubbins.
I think it's a part of whatever's at the...
part of whatever's just killed.
Yeah.
Oh, is it the head? Oh, it is. It's the head. It's one of the beta troopers, isn't it? For O12. And that's a beta trooper head. Yeah, that makes sense.
There you go. Not his lunch.
Not his lunch. Well, it might be.
Well, that's true. He needs vitamins and iron, isn't it? Maybe.
Yeah, his doctor told him to eat more, get more iron in his diet.
But if I could just say, the concept kind of drawing designy thing that looks a bit like that.
Yeah.
If they made that, I would buy it immediately, because that's awesome. That's absolutely brilliant.
The one lunging forward.
The one lunging forward, who's clearly not in a great mood. He might have been talking to that little specialist lady earlier on. Maybe she's annoyed because he's pulled apart some kind of machinery, and they're about to have a chat.
Stats-wise, he hasn't changed.
I really want to use this guy in my armies. I really do. But when I'm kind of looking at what you get for the money, and he's... I find it hard to fit him in a list and leave him in a list.
There's a lot to like on his profile, but I know what you mean. When you're looking down your list, it's 35 points you could spend elsewhere and potentially get more utility out of.
Yeah, when you kind of like trying to squeeze 5 points from somewhere, you see that and you think, well, I could do that 5 points here, and then
that gives me 30 points to buy this.
Right, so that takes us to the end of the new stuff. They've blessed them. Corvus Belli have put some boxer sets together. They've put the O2 and the Combined Army, Shazvesti, in another box. 25 minutes. What are your thoughts on these big boxes? I think they're great. They're expensive, but...
I think if you're just getting into the game and you want to play one of those two factions, you are absolutely sorted. You get a fantastic range of models to start building your army around, and you get, in both boxes, one of the nicest HVT models they've ever done.
Yeah, agree. I don't think you have to be new to the game, though. I think this is I really want a new army. What should I do? All right, okay.
New to the faction, then. How about that?
Yeah,
new to the faction.
Totally. And yeah, that HVT is great.
Yes, I've got to admit, I'm looking at the Shazvesti and I've got all them.
And more, probably.
So you end up buying them anyway. So yeah, if you are buying it, if you fancy another army, one of these big boxes is definitely worth.
Well, exactly. I was going to say Christmas and birthdays. What do you want? Well, there's this box.
Okay, so that's all the kind of stuff we've seen on the interwebs. Apart from Warcrow, they have been putting videos out on the YouTubes and Facebooks and all that kind of stuff. I've been looking for a fantasy game. I was looking into Age of Sigmar. It's GW, and I'm not really a fan. So yeah, I know. So I like fantasy, and with them saying that this is going to be a traditional fantasy with orcs and elves and humans and things, I'm kind of looking forward to it. And I'm looking forward to see what comes out and how they explain it and all that kind of stuff. What's your
Very
guys'
much
thought?
so. I really, very much looking forward to it. I'm kind of waiting for the models a little bit. I think that's what's going to, trigger it. I think completely whether I'll leap in or not. But you're right. I keep looking at fantasy games a little bit, and I must admit I don't want anything big. I want a skirmishy type of thing. So this should be or could be exactly what I need. But I think I need to see a model before I do anything. Plus, I want to say, the presenter lady they've got, the not Carlos, I think is really cool. I'm really enjoying what she's doing. Is it Hoopo or something like that, or something like that? Brilliant. If you're watching this, Well done.
I'll be honest, I haven't looked at it at all yet. No, I already have a couple of fantasy games that I kind of play. I play Saga's Age of Magic and an Ancients game called Mortal Gods. And they kind of scratch my fantasy itch when I would feel like playing it. I still occasionally go back and play old school Warhammer Fantasy Battle. I know, yes, I will do that to myself because I have nostalgic memories of it. I'm waiting to see what it's about. I want to see a bit more info before I commit either way. And currently, as far as I'm aware, they haven't released anything saying it's going to be rules based on this. This is what the ones. It's just teasers on the lore and the world.
I'm holding fire, I think next week's video includes models, which I think should be interesting.
If it's their standard, if it's their usual standard, I think it's been great.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So time has really passed quite quickly.
You'll have to do some good editing on this one.
I certainly am. I'm going to have to chop a lot out of this, I think. Right.
Either that or if you just speed us both up, I'm just going to sound like the chipmunks.
Right. Thanks for watching, and we'll join us on the next one.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, please give us a like. And if you want to see more, hit the subscribe button. It all helps to keep us motivated and raises the profile of our channel and Infinity the game, bringing it to a wider audience. And don't forget, if you're so inclined, you can also find us on Instagram and Facebook. Thank you.